Please rise as you are able. I now call this meeting of City Council to order.
The City of Barrie acknowledges the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe people, which include the Odawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi nations, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy. We also acknowledge the Wendat Nation Huron, who occupied these lands prior to the middle of the 17th century. We're dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture and recognize the enduring presence of Indigenous peoples on this land. We're committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect with all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. You may be seated. Well, members of council, we're going to jump right into the student mayors, and we've had two fantastic student mayors in Lincoln Holland of Urban Village Academy and Stroud McGregor of St. Monica's Catholic School. And they were sworn into office on the 14th of May for a 3-week term. And I would now like to invite Lincoln Holland first to give remarks about his time serving as student mayor, and then we'll have Stroud McGregor come up after that. So, Lincoln, I'm going to relinquish the big chair to you, okay? I can hold that for you for sure. He's like, it's really the big chair.
Good evening, Mayor Nuttall, City Councilors, and fellow citizens. Over the past few weeks, I have been lucky enough to meet the Mayor of Barrie and sit beside him in council meetings. I got to visit the fire station, the police station, and even got to go to the grand reopening of Zares. Thank you for letting me be a part of this experience for the City of Barrie. Thank you for all the hard work you do to discuss and work together to make the best decisions possible for the city. I hope that more kids get to have this experience too. Thank you for the opportunity, Mayor Nuttall, City Councilors, and fellow citizens.
Before you head out, we'd like to give you the certificate of recognition. And do we want a photo? Is that? We might have to go in front of the desk. Let's do that. Here we go. Come on, I'll follow you, okay? We might have to go in front of the desk. If I eat any more dinners, I might not fit between the two desks there. I'm now going to ask Stroud McGregor of St. Monica's to come up and share his experience as well. Stroud, over to you.
I want to thank the City Council for giving me this opportunity to represent St. Monica's and serve as student mayor for this term. It was interesting to hear the different presentations to the council, like the access to shelter and housing presentation from the County of Simcoe. I feel that I have a better understanding of the type of issues that the City Council addresses, which I think comes down to understanding human needs in our community. This experience has inspired me to find ways that I can be more involved in my community and help out.
Now, Stroud, I have a similar certificate of recognition thanking you for your time serving as student mayor. Would you like to come up? No. Okay, thank you to both of you, and thanks for sharing your comments with us. Thanks for sharing your time with us, and certainly we'll miss you around this table, but I know that you've got lots to take back to your schools about what you learned while you were here, and I understand the police station was a really fun tour, and you spent a couple hours there. Were you driving the tactical truck yourself, or did they take you out? Oh, I thought you drove it. Again, we're going to move on to the confirmation of the minutes. And I'm looking to the City Council meeting for May 14th. They've been circulated. Are there any corrections to be noted? Seeing none, they are adopted as printed. There are two items for awards and recognition this evening. And the first is 6.1, the presentation of the CAMA Collaboration Award of Excellence. And I believe there's a video that we're going to begin with, and then I'm going to ask Brenda Orchard to come up and share remarks with us this evening.
Congratulations to the town of Innisfil, County of Simcoe and City of Barrie, Ontario, winner of the 2025 CAMA Collaboration Award with municipalities for their Growing and Leading Together program. The town of Innisfil proposed a partnership with the County of Simcoe and City of Barrie to collaborate on a mentorship program. This was a unique opportunity to build a supportive and mutually beneficial relationship with others, regardless of organization. By introducing and collaborating on a mentorship program, the partners have been able to facilitate connections between organizations and employees. An added benefit is greater opportunities to create synergies between the organizations and efficiency in work processes. In November 2024, for the third consecutive year, the partners held a week-long leadership event called Leading Together. This event included over 250 leaders across Simcoe County and was designed to address the extraordinary conditions leaders are navigating today. The leaders involved owned their own development and had the opportunity to network with others beyond borders. Congratulations to the town of Innisfil, County of Simcoe and City of Barrie on winning a CAMA Collaboration Award.
Good evening, Mayor Nuttall, council, staff, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to be here representing the Canadian Association of Municipal Administrators. My name is Brenda Orchard. I'm the representative for the province of Ontario. I'm also the president of CAMA this year. Oliver Gershow, the CAO for the town of Innisfil, was in attendance at our awards ceremony in Mount Tremblant last week. I know your wonderful CAO was there, but he had to leave early and he missed the fun of the awards. So it's a pleasure to be here today. I just wanted to thank your CAO for his membership in CAMA, his support of CAMA, the influence that he has and the leadership that he has in our profession. It's very much appreciated. Each year, CAMA honors excellence in municipal administration through our annual awards program. We recognize achievements in 4 areas: in innovation, environmental leadership and sustainability, inspiring workplace, and this award, the collaboration with external organizations and municipalities. These awards celebrate local governments and their CAOs for their excellent creative projects, programs, and services. We share it broadly across the country so that other municipalities and staff can learn. So I know you're very proud of your staff every day for the work that they do, but I hope you're extra proud of them because their example of this work goes across the country and can help other municipalities and other staffs, and other people can learn from your work. So I just think it's very special. So thank you for that. The evaluation criteria, I just thought I'd share that with you for the public so that they understand their projects are really special and they're really scrutinized, and it's tough competition, so you've done really well. The evaluation criteria includes innovation and creativity, the impact on municipal administration, transferability to other local governments, the impact on municipalities and the organization, and the sustainability and long-term impacts and positive effects. So the Collaboration Award recognizes exemplary partnership of innovation, collaborative initiative where the outcome has demonstrated mutual benefits to all partners. The collaboration must result in one or more of the following outcomes: a significant improvement in service to both partners, develop a new or improved process, and/or improve the quality of life for residents. So the category for collaboration with municipalities is awarded to a CAMA member municipality partnering with one or more other municipalities, whether they're a CAMA member or not. So very proud and to say that you've won this collaboration award. I know you're proud of your staff, but we're extra proud of your staff and appreciate the example that you're setting across the country for other municipalities. And I'm not sure if you've seen how pretty this is, and I'm going to try to not knock it off its stand because that did happen at the awards ceremony for somebody. I don't want it to be me. So congratulations.
Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate it.
Do you want to say a few words?
Thank you, Brenda, for the award. Thank you for attending here tonight. I got nominated to accept the award, but the reality is I'd like Christine Janino, our Director of HR, to come down, along with Melanie Zach, who is actually the hardworking, busy beaver who put this program together in the spirit of cooperation with the County of Simcoe and Innisfil. And I'm going to step out and allow you to receive the award. So thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations. I don't know if you want a picture or... I don't know if someone wants to want a picture, but...
Get here, take a picture.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you for coming and sharing that with us this evening. And certainly we're very, very proud of our public servants here. And I know the County of Simcoe and the Township of Innisfil are also. So it's great to see everyone working together in the area. Thank you for sharing with us this evening. We're going to move on to 6.2. This is recognition of the National Canada Safest Employer Award. And is there a picture, I think, that needs to be displayed at this point? It works just like that. I would like to take the opportunity to present and to recognize a truly outstanding achievement for the City of Barrie. Our organization has been named the 2024 recipient of the Safe Start Award for Canada's Safest Employer Young Workers category. This national award recognizes employers who go above and beyond to protect workers under the age of 25. It highlights our commitment to creating a strong safety culture, one that prioritizes training, mentorship, and proactive engagement with our young workforce. The award was presented at Canada's Safest Employers Awards in Toronto in the fall of 2024, an event that honors the best in occupational health and safety across the country. Our HR department and operations department collaborated to make this award possible. Karen Cooper, our manager of health and safety, said it so well, Safety is a culture here and everyone played a part. This recognition is shared by every department, every team, and every individual who puts safety first each and every day. Why does this matter? Because young workers are statistically more likely to be injured on the job, especially in their first 12 months. By creating a space where they feel safe to ask questions, speak up, and learn, we are setting them up for success, not just here in Barrie, but throughout their careers. So I want to thank each and every one of you for your part in making this possible, and we need to take pride in our national recognition and continue leading the way in building a workplace where safety is a shared value. Before I go to the congratulations part, and Michael, perhaps you could do the photo again. This is such an important piece, and the fact that we're leading the way across the country, I just, as somebody who sits on this council and works with our public servants, I just want to say thank you. I have a friend I go to a walk for each and every year who unfortunately passed away in a workplace safety incident in this exact demographic. And so everything that we are doing to set the standard is not just about setting the standard here. It's also about setting the standard for the market and setting awareness, because if those young individuals learn these safety techniques here, if they go work somewhere else, they're going to influence the people around them there. So that is literally life-saving stuff. So Michael, I'll ask if you can go up and present the award with our team again, please. It's always a good evening when you're getting awards for the city. So to our team in HR and all around that, thank you. It's recognition that's well-deserved. We're going to move past the reports. Sorry, Mr. CAO.
Sorry, Mayor Nuttall, just because we're recognizing HR tonight, I thought I'd share with council just a short story if I can, because Karen Cooper never wants to be recognized and she never wants to stand out. But I've told this story before. It was about a year ago. I received a call from an inspector at the Ministry of Labour. And he left me a voicemail, and it was his final official duty before he retired. And the last thing he wanted to do was call me and let the City of Barrie know how blessed we were to have Karen Cooper in charge of our safety program. That was it. He didn't ask for anything else, and that was his last official act. And he sailed off into retirement. I couldn't even call him back to thank him for the positive feedback, but I did have the opportunity to share that with Karen, and I've shared it with city staff. But just a remarkable team member who puts safety of the employees right across the organization above everything else. I just want to take a second to share that story. So thank you.
Karen's thinking, I'm coming back every week. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us, Mr. CAO, and thank you, Karen, and to your entire team you work with. Thank you for all the work that you are doing to keep our people safe. We have no reports from officers or deputations this evening, no tax applications and communications, and we're going to move right into committee reports. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. Moved by myself, but second by Councillor Hamilton. That Section A of the General Committee Report dated May 28, 2025, now circulated, be received.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Hamilton. Section A of the General Committee Report dated May 28, 2025, now circulated, be received. 25G120, Report of the Community Safety Committee dated May 7th. 25G121, Report of the Infrastructure and Community Investment Committee dated May 14th. 25G122, Report of the Community Safety and Wellbeing Committee dated May 20th, 2025. Any questions or comments on the motions? Seeing none, all those in favor? And it's approved.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Hamilton, that Section B of the General Committee Report dated May 28, 2025, now circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Hamilton, that Section B of the General Committee Report dated May 28, 2025, now circulated, be adopted. This is 25G123, Planned Implementation of No Parking Signs on Greer Street. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 25G124, Culture Plan Update. 25G125, 2025 Asset Management Plan, 25G126, Zoning Bylaw Amendment 830, 864, 894, and 912, Lockhart Road, Ward 10, 25G127, 112 King Street, formerly 1 Holly Home Farm Road, Ward 7, 25G128, trade secret or scientific, technical, commercial, financial, other labor relations information supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board, which, if disclosed, could reasonably be expected to prejudice significantly the competitive position or interfere significantly with the contractual or other negotiations of a person, group of persons, or organization procurement services. 25G129, automated speed enforcement update, and 25G130, the 2024 budget and business plan year-end report. Any questions or comments on any of those motions? I'm seeing none. All those in favor? Oh, sorry. Councillor Negussi has a comment.
Thank you, Mayor Nadal. I have a few comments on 25G125, automated speed enforcement update. Mayor Nadal and Council, I took the time to look at this report very carefully, and I would like to share a few observations. There has been a talk among some residents suggesting that the speed camera installation are a scam or simply a cash grab. But when we actually look at the data presented in the report, a very different story emerged. The speed radar camera were deployed on 12 streets. I reviewed the data and calculated all the average, and here is what I found. Before the deployment of the camera, with flashing light 40 km per hour, the average speed was 63.42 km an hour. During the camera deployment, with a flashing light, without flashing light, the average speed dropped to 54.91 km per hour. After the camera were removed and flashing light returned, the average speed was 55.91 km per hour. That's a significant reduction from 63.42 to 59.91 km per hour. The difference is 7.51 kilometers. That's equivalent to 8 kilometers. This is not a cash grab. This is the evidence of real measurable behavioral change. It shows that the presence of these cameras can help reshape dangerous drivers' habits and ultimately make our streets safe for everyone. This is about safety. It's about protecting our children, our seniors, and everyone who use our streets. And I hope our local media will take the time to highlight these positive impacts, and so the border community can understand the real benefit of these cameras. So I would like to say thank you to Mayor Nadal and the council and city staff for the hard work in making our community safer. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Negussi. Are there any other comments or questions on the motions on the floor? I'm seeing none, and thank you for sharing. Obviously, that data was in there, but thank you for highlighting it, because I think it is important, Councillor Negussi, especially when you consider if it's an 8-kilometer reduction on a 60 zone. You're talking about, I think, a 15% reduction in speed in our safety zones. Like, these are the places where we want people to not be speeding through. So thank you for highlighting that for us. All those in favor of the motions on the floor? And it's approved unanimously. Deputy Mayor.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Hamilton, that Section C of the General Committee Report dated May 28, 2025, now circulated, be received.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Hamilton, that Section C of the General Committee Report dated May 28, 2025, now circulated, be received. This is 25G131, presentation concerning the 2025 to 29 Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan. Are there any questions or concerns from members of council? Yes, Councillor.
I would like to frame it more as a comment, but I'll frame it as a question, so I may. So on assuming receiving this.
Sorry, Councillor, you can make comments at this time.
Am I good?
Well.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't know if you just meant
totally
questions.
good to
Okay,
go.
thank you. I did want to say, as a member of this committee, apologies for not being able to be here last Wednesday when I was en route to a conference for the presentation and to express, I think, a couple of notes of appreciation in particular. I mean, at this point in time, it was really well supported by members of the mayor's office and staff office, but at the beginning of this and tight timelines and taking a direction forward. It was Miss Dawn McAlpine who was with us at the time, and then Miss Wendy Cook who had stepped in. So I did want to note that appreciation around a lot of support around managing an expectation with the ministry under the timelines. We are very well positioned. From a partnership approach and a committee, there was a lot of interest, and I do want to thank all of the members of committee who had really great dialogue around that, like very different skill sets around the table that I think complemented a really robust plan. But managing expectations, is always a big thing around what you can get done and or what will continue. So I think we are well positioned to be getting reports back and making sure that the action plans tie to those agencies with a responsibility to move that forward, and some really great progress on the past plan. So lastly, I really just want to say, sometimes to take on this type of initiative and to have a member of the community chair this, great appreciation to Mr. Greg Ferguson, who was chair of this committee, for his time on that and managing a lot of really key milestones and deliverables, in addition to, I think, a plan that is complemented well across County of Simcoe, because we've got a consultant that touched on other aspects and could bring in a lot of that larger scope. So I was impressed with the outcome of this, but did want to take a moment to really say thank you to Mr. Ferguson and to staff for supporting this forward.
Yeah, thanks so much, Councillor, and I agree with everything you just said. It was very, very well run, very well supported by our public servants, Wendy, so thank you so much to you and your team for that. And, I think we had some discourse at the beginning of this committee about adding individuals from the community. I think Barrie Cares, there was addition of some school board folks, and I don't know about you, but my feeling at the end of this was they were very good additions, actually, and it really got honed in on data-driven goals and targets, and that's a good place for us to be. I know, Councillor Hamilton, you bring that up quite often, so I'm really happy with the outcome as well. Mr. Ferguson stepped up again and chaired another thing. Which is what he does in the community. So, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? It carries. Deputy Mayor.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Hamilton, that Section D of the General Committee Report dated May 28, 2025, now circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Hamilton, that Section D of the General Committee Report dated May 28, 2025, now circulated, be adopted. This is 25G132, City of Barrie's Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan 2025 to 29, working together for a safer community. The last motion was just receiving the presentation and the report. This is actually approving it and adopting it. Any questions or comments with regards to the report? Seeing none, all those in favor? And it carries. Deputy Mayor.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Hamilton, that Section E of the General Committee Report dated May 28, 2025, now circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Hamilton, that Section E of the General Committee Report dated May 28, 2025, now circulated, to be adopted. This is 25G133, Public Art Strategy. Any questions or comments from members of Council with regards to Public Art Strategy? Seeing none, all those in favor? It carries.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Hamilton, that Section F of the General Committee Report dated May 28, 2025, now circulated, be adopted.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Hamilton, the Section F of the General Committee Report dated May 28, 2025, now circulated, to be adopted. This is 25G134, Zoning Bylaw Amendment, 127 and 131 Ardagh Road in Ward 6. Any questions or comments with regards to the motion on the floor? I'm seeing none. All those in favor? It carries. Deputy Mayor.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Hamilton, that Section G of the General Committee Report dated May 28, 2025, now circulated, be received.
This is a mouthful, this one. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Hamilton, the Section G of the General Committee Report dated May 28, 2025, now circulated, be received. 25G135. Confidential trade secret or scientific, technical, commercial, financial, or labor relations information supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board, which, if disclosed, could reasonably be expected to prejudice significantly the competitive position or interfere significantly with the contractual or other negotiations of a person, group, or persons or organization consulting services. The second motion in is 25G136, confidential potential sale of property, status update, city-owned properties. Any questions or comments with regards to the matters? I'm seeing none. All those in favor? It carries. Deputy Mayor.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Hamilton, that Section H of the General Committee Report dated May 28, 2025, now circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Hamilton, that Section H of the General Committee Report dated May 28th, 2025, now circulated, be adopted. This is 25G137, trade secret or scientific, technical, commercial, financial, or labor relations information supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board, which if disclosed, could reasonably be expected to prejudice significantly the competitive position or interfere significantly with the contractual or other negotiations of a person, group, or persons or organization for consulting services. Any questions or comments from members of council? Seeing none, all those in favor? It carries. Deputy Mayor.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Hamilton, that Section I of the General Committee Report dated May 28, 2025, now circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Hamilton, that Section I of the General Committee Report dated May 28, 2025, now circulated, be adopted. This is 25G138, potential sale of property status, update city-owned properties. Any questions or comments from members of council? Seeing none, all those in favor? It carries. That concludes the committee reports for this evening. There are no items of deferred business. We have a direct motion, and I'm going to pass it over to Deputy Mayor Thompson. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. Moved by myself and second by Councillor Kungl. Whereas the City of Barrie recently experienced an ice storm from March 28, 2025 to March 30th, 2025 and experienced incremental operating costs, capital costs, now therefore be resolved that Council of the City of Barrie hereby requests the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing to activate the Municipal Disaster Recovery Assistance Program to allow for the City of Barrie to submit a claim for the cost associated with the ice storm, and further that Colleen Smith, Intern Director of Finance, be given delegated authority to verify at last to the accuracy of the claim.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'm going to read it out, and then I'll give a little bit of a background before the Deputy Mayor takes the floor. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Kungl. Whereas the City of Barrie recently experienced an ice storm from March 28, 2025 to March 30th, 2025, and has experienced incremental operating and capital costs. Now therefore be it resolved, the Council of the City of Barrie hereby requests the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing to activate the Municipal Disaster Recovery Assistance Program to allow for the City of Barrie to submit a claim for costs associated with the ice storm. And further that Colleen Smith, Interim Director of Finance, be given delegated authority to verify and attest the accuracy of the claim. So that motion's on the floor, moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Kungl. The Municipal Disaster Recovery Assistance Program is activated by the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing. This program helps municipalities recover from extraordinary costs after a sudden, unexpected, and extraordinary natural disaster. And in this case, it relates to the ice storm which occurred during the weekend of March 28th to March 30th. In order to be eligible for the program, a municipality must pass a resolution of council and submit a claim regarding the costs that can be clearly linked to the disaster, and the resolution must be submitted within 120 calendar days from the disaster. Eligible costs include operating costs incurred to protect public health, safety, and access to essential services, as well as capital costs required to repair public infrastructure or property to pre-disaster condition. The program is based on a sliding scale cost-sharing formula. Deputy Mayor, did you want to?
Maybe the only thing I can add through you, Mayor Nuttall, is that it was incredible, the storm, and then the actual response from our staff. And, you know, like, we actually received an email today, which was funny in itself, but it was appreciative because staff went over and above. And I think of surrounding municipalities that didn't receive the same level of service. And, you know, due to some of the relationships that you've created, we were actually able to help, you know, as far as Muskoka with resources. You know, there's certain times on council where, you know, you're happy, you're grateful to be a councillor, but, you know, times like this, you're honored in just to be a resident, you know, and see the way staff handled this, And yeah, I can't say, enough about the response of this council and our staff through yourself, CAO Prowse, to everybody. And I'm very confident. I know you've been on the phone with all levels of government, looking at ways to try to make some recovery in the City of Barrie whole on the financial side at these unexpected circumstances. So that's all I'd like to add to it.
Councillor Negussi.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. I just have a quick question, probably to Ms. James Reid. I see this application is for the province, but are there any other federal fund source being considered beyond the MDRA, to cover the remaining percentage of our cost?
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Negussi. It's my understanding that this provincial program does not include the cost of replanting the trees, and I think if that was the question that you and I chatted about earlier, we do have a program federally that we are working with staff across the corporation on applying for. So it's the 2 Billion Trees program that is a Government of Canada program in partnership with the FCM, and the applications are open now until September 18th, so we're going to be working on putting an application, and I would think that because of our significant tree damage, we would be looked upon very favorably on that program.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Any other members of council would like to weigh in on the storm relief? Councillor Kunkel.
Just quickly, and maybe just an alignment to some of the conversations we have seen, I think this is a great action around, looking to maximize any and all opportunities for resources and recovery. In complement to other options, I think that we're seeing provincially, nationally, but also locally. I hope it's not inappropriate, but I think it's something that we've been trying to get the word out on, because residents have been asking for how can we replant on our private property. So I know Living Green, as a 30-year-old not-for-profit, has subsidized trees, and I think they're trying to get the word out. So if people are looking to plant or purchase to plant on their property, there's, I think, been other in-kind donations coming through that charity to really help promote tree planting by residents, as well as other activations. And I know we will hear from staff on opportunities when there's ability to potentially look at how do we invest in larger caliber trees when we get to the point of being in a position to replace a lot of our boulevard and or residential trees on city property.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor. I would also maybe ask our public servants. We have a fund that we set aside for trees. Is that able to be accessed for this replanting program? The ecological offsetting, yeah.
Yeah. To you, Mayor Nuttall. So the fund that we have, I think you're referring to the ecological offsetting fund. So that fund is committed because we have our regular program of tree planting of about 1,000 trees a year, I think. So that fund is committed. What we will be doing is in a couple of weeks, we'll be coming to council with a staff report that outlines what we need in terms of resources and funds to undertake the replanting and the stump grinding.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, so we're going to move on to the vote itself. I think we all recognize that the province has stepped up with a massive amount here. When you look at the net dollars that the city is going to be on the hook for versus the gross dollars of the cleanup, the province has followed through and stepped up. And I think those were conversations that were ongoing in the early days. We didn't feel initially that we would get a lot of benefit from this program. Thankfully, the province came to the table in a very robust way And I think that's a big blessing for us in terms of the total cost at the end of the day. Want to echo all of the sentiments we've had over the last month and a half. Thank you to our public servants, and I know it's going to continue. We're going to have a tree planting program now at some point, the staff report, and that'll get instituted over a 2 to 3 year program of some kind. You know, it's not just because we finished the actual first phase and we're in the middle of the second phase. This is years to clean up, and it is a massive, massive amount of money to cover. And the first phase, thankfully, we have a lot of support from the province, and hopefully through this tree program with the feds will be able to have us a massive amount of trees and money for us through that program. So it's good to see us working with each level of government. Call the vote. All those in favor? It carries. Deputy Mayor? That's it. You have no more direct motions. Okay, we have a presentation this evening from Tourism Barrie. Councillor Harvey's favorite folks. I was going to say favorite committee, but then if somebody was watching from one of his other committees, that wouldn't be very nice, would it be? Councillor Harvey would be unpopular at those places.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to City Council, Kathleen.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. Thank you for the invitation to present the economic impact of Barrie's 2024 visitor economy. Tourism Barrie will provide you with a brief presentation on the Barrie's festival and events, the methodology we used, and the Sport Tourism Assessment Report for 2024. I've also taken the opportunity to give Mayor and Council Tourism Barrie's 2024 year-end review for your perusal. To better understand the festival event numbers and data, I would like to start with the economic impact of the overnight stays in Barrie commercial accommodations. This data is obtained by using the STAR reports, which gives us the numbers of rooms sold in Barrie hotels. 632,000 people stayed overnight in the Barrie hotels. This number does not include people who stayed in Airbnb or visiting friends and family. The economic impact is $113 million. In 2024, Tourism Barrie began using Environics Analytics MobileScape geofencing software and benchmarked visitor data from 2019 to 2024. We used 5 consistent geofence zones across the city to accurately track how many people visited Barrie. Accurately tracked how many people visited Barrie visit each year. This includes the combination of overnight hotel guests, same-day visitors, and individuals who travel to Barrie for several hours to shop, dine, or access services. These insights give us a much clearer picture of the true scope and scale of Barrie's visitor economy. In 2024, we saw 10.6 million people. Barrie is Central Ontario's engine. To ensure a standardized and credible approach to the economic impact measurements and reporting, Tourism Barrie utilized Environics technology to collect the detailed data on events, attendees, demographics, and market segmentations. We then load the data into Destination International's impact calculator, which calculates the economic impact of festival events and sport tourism. By adopting these industry standard tools and methodologies, Tourism Barrie ensures consistent, reliable, data-driven evaluations that support informed decision-making and maximizes the economic benefit for Barrie's tourism industry. Simply put, MobileScapes captures your cell phone data when you enter the geofenced area and tracks your phone as you move around the destination. It does separate visitors from residents by knowing where you sleep at night. It tracks the language you speak on your cell phone. It also tracks 100,000 different apps on your phone, spending habits using credit card information, postal codes, and Statistics Canada data to profile each cell phone and the IP address. This data is then aggregated and given to us. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Here are the 5 geofenced areas Tourism Barrie is tracking as visitors move around the city. We take particular attention to the waterfront and downtown Barrie geofences. We also customize specific geofence. We geofenced a specific area and time period, as we did for Seeds to Sow, Campin' Fest, Carnival Barrie, and all the open-air Dunlop events detailed in the report. Tourism Barrie is committed to data-driven decision-making to evaluate the strength of our visitor economy. The Festival and Events Report analyzes the economic impact of Barrie's top 14 festival and events, focusing on attendance numbers, audience demographics, and the proportion of local versus tourists. This data has been shared with our festival event partners to help them make informed decisions about their future. We want to ensure we are attracting high-yielding visitors to the events who are more likely to stay overnight at a Barrie hotel. One example is working closely with Downtown Barrie's BIA by providing visitor data for open-air Dunlop. This enables Tourism Barrie to align our destination marketing efforts with the BIA to grow attendance, attract high-yielding visitors, and overnight visitors to the downtown core. Tourism Barrie will continue to prioritize understanding who is visiting Barrie, where they're from, and what motivates them, what motivates their travel. This year, we will focus on leveraging these tools to extract deeper insights, track visitors, trends, and profile demographics. These data-driven insights will be critical in shaping our destination marketing strategies, ensuring they make every dollar spent with precise and purpose. In the next few slides, I'll review the process so you understand the data in the tourism assessment reports. Tourism Barrie will use the data to drive its market strategies, and our partners will leverage and align their marketing with Tourism Barrie. We collected the data of 10 million visitors to Barrie from 5 geofenced areas and narrowed it down to the top segmentations. We grouped the 10 segments to arrive at 3 main target markets for Barrie: so families, multicultural, and mature rurals. Barrie's top target market is what we coined TB Family 1. There are 4 segments out of the 10 that make up this group. TB1 Families is a very active outdoor recreation and sports. This is Tourism Barrie's main target market for sports tourism programs and our 4-season outdoor recreation destination marketing campaigns. Environics also provides us with all the postal codes of the cell phone numbers that ping off the towers while in Barrie. This map shows the locations where all the TB families live. And we literally have 10 million postal codes in our raw data. This is just one of the reports we get on each segment to analyze. I know it looks very busy and it's hard to read. At a quick glance, TB1 family activities are mostly outdoor recreation. They like to go canoeing, cycling, boating. They ski and play football. To put this into perspective, hundreds of thousands of people travel to Barrie each year for outdoor recreation. The second target market is TB2, which is multicultural. This segment includes 4 of the top 10 segments. They like watching sports, so here's our opportunity to promote local semi-pro teams to this target market and increase their audience capacity. The data provides our festival event partners with different multicultural groups that visit Barrie. This is the low-hanging fruit to increase audience capacity for all of the Barrie events. We need to work better in attracting new Canadians to Barrie events and designing marketing campaigns that specifically target these markets. This is a very lucrative visiting friends and family segment. The third target market is TB3, the mature rural. These are our culture theater-going groups. They are very excited to experience theaters, concerts, festival events. The TB3 group is also big shoppers. As the largest segment in Ontario, it's an important target market. We must know who's coming to Barrie and speak to them with the right messages, the right images, and the right experiences so that they can picture themselves here and feel inspired to visit, stay, and explore. Briefly, I've I've provided you with a sport tourism assessment which we also completed. Tourism Barrie staff tracked 49 sporting events. We used Destination International Specialized Sport Tourism Economic Impact Calculator to arrive at these numbers. Based on the real-time data, we can confidently report that the 49 sporting events generated $44.2 million in economic impact. We will continue to work with the City of Barrie to attract new sport tourism and champions to drive the visitor economy. 2024 data clearly reinforces why tourism is a vital economic driver for Barrie. When we combine the numbers, combine the impact of hotel stays, Airbnb bookings, overnight visitors, the visitor economy alone contributed $130 million in new money to Barrie's economy. Tourism is not just a sector, it's a cornerstone of Barrie's economic prosperity, supporting jobs, businesses, and community development. Thank you. Did I make the 10 minutes?
I'm sure you did.
You were well run.
Yeah, they didn't turn your mic off, like, you're good to go, Kathleen. Thank you for the presentation. Are there any questions or comments right, just questions, actually, no comments? I'm seeing none, so I'm just going to say, Councillor Corser.
Hi, thank you. That was absolutely amazing. Sorry, through you, Mayor Null, that was absolutely amazing. I love all the data, and it's amazing to dig into this because years ago, I think I mentioned before that I got to use the avionics platform, and it's amazing, the information that, just stunning, the information that it has. I did have a resident reach out to me and asked about the privacy policies and issues about the cell phone, the tower pinging, and I did a little bit of research, and I saw that it was, of course, you wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't legal. I know that, and from my marketing background, I know that it is. But I just wanted to make sure that the public heard that it is absolutely above board to have that information.
Yes, Environics Analytics is owned by Bell Canada, and they certainly adhere to all the Canadian privacy rules, and they scrape all the identity. So before it's aggregated, it comes back, the personal identity and the IP addresses actually don't come to the client, like Tourism Barrie, if you will. So it is scraped. They do have all that privacy.
Thank you. I think it was just the shock of having so much detailed information was kind of, it's amazing coming from marketing. It's amazing to have this kind of information. But yeah, thank you very much.
The closest you'll get is a postal code. And so thousands of people could live within a postal code. So that's like the closest you'd get to a person would be the postal code.
Yep, anonymous. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Councillor Harvey.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall, and thank you for your presentation. I knew it was going to be very in-depth and just like the annual 2024 report that was presented at the AGM just a few weeks ago. The one slide that I really want to highlight is the last one, 19, where the economic impact of sport tourism is literally 3 times of all the combined festivals. And I know we've never really gotten down to the nitty-gritty when we've talked about this, but can you speak about what the drivers of that would be as to why sport tourism is 3 times what the festivals are?
Well, firstly, we did 14 festivals and we did 49 sport tourism, but sport tourism's average daily spend is much higher than a tourist coming to a festival event. And a good example in the report that I provided, you'll see that Curling Canada, the curling championships that came, each person spent $1,200 each, where someone at Open Air Dunlop, I think it was like $54. So one is the actual daily spend for a sport tournament. And interestingly enough, 3/4 of that is actually winter. So Barrie does much higher in the winter sport tourism than it does in the summer because people are more likely to drive home. You'll drive 3 hours, 4 hours in the daylight in the summer. So also interestingly, we have more heavy winter sport tournaments, which brings that economic impact even higher because you're more likely to stay overnight.
Great, thank you. And obviously it does highlight the fact that obviously we have a lot more sport tourism events going on in comparison to all the other events and festivals. But also too, when you look at the spend, it just goes to show you where we need to really focus to have the most bang for our buck when it comes to the economic impact. So thank you for your presentation and highlighting that.
You're welcome, Councillor. Thank you, Mayor Nuttall.
Councillor Harris.
Yeah, I have one quick one. I thought I had no questions, but the report was interesting. I was curious about the question that Councillor Harvey noted about the sports tourism. I noticed that the highest impact were two things. The Everest Club Championships, $3,790 per person, and Slow Pitch Nationals, average spend of $2,205 per person. What I think is common with those, they're both adult events, not kids sports. So curious about the plan to promote adult-focused sporting activities. It seems like when they come, they spend. The adults come and spend anyway. If you want to comment that through email.
That is correct, and they stayed multiple days, so the curling, I think, was like 5 days. So they do stay multiple days. Certainly, we're working with in Barrie, and we have the Sport Tourism Strategic Plan. We have the Sport Working Group. They're meeting next week, and that is the drive, is to find those provincial and national certainly bring in more money than the regionals, but to actually start out and pursuing and making bids on those multi-day adult sports, because they are the more lucrative ones and the higher yield. And quite frankly, they behave better in the hotels. So the hoteliers will probably appreciate that we're bringing some older people and kids running around the hallway at 2 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, so that is more of a target market for us and something that we will be pursuing.
I still play mini hockey in the hallways, don't we, Councillor?
Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Harris. Councillor Rima.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and a great report, and it's just amazing how much data you actually can get. And I guess just following up on Councillor Harris's question, and you partially answered this one, but what are the kinds of things that we should, as a city, be doing to encourage tourism here? Because it's obviously really important.
Well, as Mayor Nuttall, through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Rietma, Mayor Nuttall has certainly always advocated having more hotel rooms. If you note it on the year-end report, you'll see that Sudbury, which is a competitive set to Barrie, has double the rooms. So really, we're almost at capacity, or we have very high occupancy. We have sport tournaments that overflow, and they can't get enough rooms. So I think inviting more hoteliers to build hotels in Barrie would probably be the #1 investment in getting a higher rate for your tourism in general. But the municipal accommodation tax was always welcomed sustainable funding, so that's gone very, very well, and we now have a sustainable annual funding and know what kind of money's coming in, so we can project and do a year in advance and kind of make those sporting bids, and also our destination marketing. So, and this is expensive, this data. It was we did separate some marketing dollars towards this data, but it's really important because now we know who we should be targeting and who's coming. And I think doing the data, deeper dive in the data, will also give us a bigger bang for our bucks, because now we know who we should be targeting, where they're coming from, what postal codes, and where we're going to heavily. A good example is Ottawa. That was a complete surprise to us. Thousands of people from Ottawa come, so now we know that. So now we'll be targeting Ottawa more heavy to get them to stay longer.
Just a supplementary on that. Gee, I just lost my question, so I'll pass. Thanks.
If you find it, let us know. Okay. Yeah. Just very, very quickly on the hotel piece. Interestingly, I think we have even more good news coming on that. At CEO Prowse, I think there was a couple of hotel requests. One came in the downtown area. I don't want to give specifics. And then we're still trying to work with some in the south part of the city as well. So there's two builds on Bryan Drive right now, and it sounds like there's another couple coming in. We love seeing hotels go up for a number of reasons. The least important reason is the MAT tax, and the most important. Wait, why are you laughing over there? Okay, it's the most important reason. Okay, Okay, I'll flip it around. But more than anything, the amount of times that we don't have capacity is very difficult. So it is very good seeing these hotels coming down the line. Some of them have been a decade in the making, and it's going to be really good for the city, I believe. And we found someone.
I found it, yes. My question is, you did all this research this past year. Are you doing it again in this coming year? And it would be really interesting to do it for every year so that we see the progress and see what effect you're having on what your marketing effect has.
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Rietma, absolutely, we did actually do a new license to do another year of Environics because there was so much data, it was hard to keep up, so we have another year for it. And also, interestingly, with AI and the speed of AI, they've introduced a new modular, if you will, called Visitor View, which is connected to Destination Canada. So now there's even more robust information that will come through. So yes, we'll be, it's all scheduled to do. We've geofenced all the open air Dunlops and the air show, of course. And so we will continue to benchmark and continue to do this data and find out where people are coming from.
Councillor Morales.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. After you left to Ottawa, I heard so much talk about Ottawa here. After you left to Ottawa in 2014, it came up at least once. I think it was 2016 or 2017, where the City of Barrie considered maybe having conversations about not having a tourism Barrie, about essentially combining efforts with the county. Boy, am I ever glad that didn't happen. And I bring that up, Ms. Traynor. How many years have you been ED of the organization?
I just finished my 22nd year with Tourism Barrie.
And I bring that up, Mayor Nuttall, because you often see in positions of this, and I'm not saying it applies to every case. Actually, I'm saying it doesn't apply to every case. When you see EDs who are just there for over a decade, anybody in any position can get maybe, not a fresh set of eyes, or the initiatives or the risk-taking can become stagnant or bureaucratic. This is an incredible example on how that's not the case. I think Ms. Traynor and her team's embrace of Environics is a good one. Her embrace of the pinging and this origin of visitors, just even the discussions today about embracing potential AI technologies. And, I always, Ms. James Reed will know this, I always call it out positively when I see it, is the graphics that you continue to put out are incredible. You don't lag by 5 years on design types and logos. And this is something that, again, Mayor Nuttall, you don't usually see. And I remember the discussions at that time, you weren't around the table. It's like, could there have been synergies and savings and efficiency of the county? I don't remember the specific conversations, but I think this is a great example on how Ms. Traynor bucks the trend with that. And we are better because of it. And, even looking at the material she gave us, and it's not just obviously her by herself, the board she has behind her, and everybody, all the private sector voices on that board, including our very own Representative Councillor Gary Harvey, this is the outcome. And I think that's a really good one. You don't always see that in organizations with long-term leadership, and this is a really good example of one that is an aspirational example.
Thank you. And are there any other questions? I'm seeing none. I have one question for you. What are you doing tomorrow at 12:30?
Yes, tomorrow 12:30. I don't know. Is there something important?
Ms. James Reed has an invitation for you that falls into your presentation tonight. So
thank you very
we'll
much.
see you there.
I also just want to shout out to Pam and Tina because it's the team. There's just the three of us. We have a 0.5 now, but so all the beautiful work Tina does and all the analytics Pam does. So I'm only as good as those two. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kathleen. Do you have any inquiries this evening? Inquiry to Councillor Kunkel.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Nuttall, and I apologize for not giving a heads up. It's more impromptu, but if I may, through you to maybe Ms. James Reed, The inquiry is about calls that I'm getting really over the last 24 hours about MPAC reassessments and some confusion or seeking of clarity about whether or not the city has increased property taxes. So I think Councillor Harvey helped to provide some information. I had been seeing some of this. I'm not sure if other members of council are getting these questions. So I guess my question is, the financial is one piece, but I'm wondering about any communications, if we can embed anything, if we don't have it to point to on our website and or through to you, Mayor Nuttall. I know you have a newsletter that goes out, but if we could have some consistent, easy communication. I know it was helpful to point out to a resident on the phone that if you look at that property assessment, the tax on it actually has a summary table that talks about reassessment, and that is the reassessment if there is a number there that associates to MPAC. I know not all residents have experienced this because I think it was a selection of reassessments, so it's not a blanket approach at this time. I know we are taking questions to AMO. Usually that provincial conference in August, there is usually a delegation there from MPAC about the approach and timing of reassessments. But overall, I guess the inquiry is, are we seeing enough of these questions through Service Barrie, and or can we package some communications up? Because I think this is just the beginning of more questions, and I know it can be confusing about when it's tied into property taxes, assuming that that is an action of the city that we've taken outside of what people are expecting. And it does seem to be coming as quite a surprise, and that there is a very significant change in range of the impact that people are seeing.
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Kungle. I have not heard that Service Barrie has had many of these questions, but I will certainly follow up with them tomorrow and get you some information, and we can provide some standard messaging and get it on our homepage and stuff if it is trending more than beyond. Maybe people are coming directly to you first, but we'll certainly work on that tomorrow and get that information.
Thank you, Ms. James Reed. We had a couple, one through Councillor Ngozi earlier as well. The science behind it is that with every assessment up, there's an assessment down, but I guess we'll have that information somewhere in finance, Mr. CAO. Is that, oh, thank you, Mr. Schmidt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and through you to Councillor Kungle. Happy to work with the finance team to provide some literature, if you will, to our residents. I can comment that the province of Ontario has not done a reassessment, and so some of these properties, and again, I'd have to look at them individually. It may be that new properties are coming on board and the land is assessed, and then eventually the actual structure is assessed. So it may be part of that as well, but obviously there's other components of the property tax that include our service partners, which we know there was an increase. And so again, we're happy to work with the finance team and provide some literature for communications to put out to our residents.
Thank you, Mr. Schmidt. We're going to move on to announcements. Councillor Kungle, then Councillor Corser.
Well, if you haven't noticed my bright blazer tonight, you know I've got an announcement about Communities in Bloom. So shared with members of council, there's some new flyers, lovely job done by our communications team. And again, our theme is edible gardens. So the residents are invited and businesses to submit photos of your gardens for Communities in Bloom. This year's theme has been chosen nationally as edible gardening. So we're talking about kale and those lovely fruits and vegetables. So as you get creative and gardens across the city are looking beautiful, we do have great categories. It's free to participate. A lot of this at this point in time is taking photos that can showcase what's happening in your gardens or your business landscape. I know we've got some fire halls that have been doing some vegetable gardens in the past. So this is something for everybody, whether you're in a retirement home, long-term care home, local business, condo, or just general, anywhere and everything is an opportunity to showcase. It does become a huge portfolio around assets that we can compete on internationally. Again, we've got 2 judges coming, July 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. We will be touring them through the city on different spotlights, but this allows us to put a showcase together to make sure they get a full 360 picture of the city. Again, we're building off of a couple of great awards, Large Urban City Award and Green Cities Award. So we are very excited, and a lot of that has to do with staff that's already put together. Rebecca and Bella, I know I pulled on you through that committee to already be able to give updates on comments and feedback about where we've already been making additional progress points. So we are well positioned and hope to represent the city well with those judges. So thank you, because really it is residents year over year that participate in this. It is about resident engagement at this phase of the game. So, sorry, thanks again to Communications. You can get a handout hard copy through the city. It's at all of our facilities, our recreation facilities. It's at City Hall downstairs by Service Barrie if you prefer a hard copy, or go online to barrie.ca/communities in bloom, and you can register there online.
Thank you, Councillor. And I actually have an herb garden of my own. And no, Councillor Corser, not that herb. My wife tells me dill and basil. Yes, yes, it's actually been in the.
I think it's his wife's garden.
Look, I'm reading it on my phone for my wife, so yes, you're right. I was trying to be an expert there, and I'm like, I don't even know where this is on our property. All right. Are there any other announcements this evening? Sorry, Councillor Corser, I jumped over you.
I'm side-eyeing you. Yeah, Mayor Nuttall. Thank you. I do have a couple of announcements. One is a thank you to staff from Bala and his team, especially Stephanie Mack, for lending me at my Ward 4 Spring Celebration, which was supposed to be held May 24th, but it was a rain date till May 25th. And that wasn't much nicer either, but I'd like to thank staff so much for even coming out and supporting anyway, to Matthew Shannon and Ed Madrowski from the Waste Management and Environmental Sustainability Department, and of course, the composting worms, because they are always a big hit with the kids. So that was amazing. And I'd like to also flag that on June 14th, New Path is holding its 3rd annual Pride Barbecue at Dorian Parker Center from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. And there'll be hamburgers and hot dogs, face painting, crafts, swag handouts, raffle prizes, and lots of other stuff. And all proceeds from the barbecue will be going towards the Gilbert Center. So please come out. I've been there for 3 years now, and it is a really amazing, inclusive event. And warm and fuzzies all around. So I welcome anyone from the community to come out. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other announcements? Seeing none. Is there any score in the hockey league? No. No, he doesn't know. He's not checking. That's what he wants you to think. Okay, so first, before we get into the rest, this weekend is the air show, the Barrie Air Show, presented by Pratt Homes. And it is going to be an incredible demonstration. We have the CF-18 Tactical Demonstration Team, Canadian Armed Forces Skyhawks Parachute Team, the CH-146 Griffin Helicopter Demonstration, and much more. You can visit barrie.ca/2025 Barrie Air Show, but I know I'll be down there on Saturday. I think Deputy Mayor Thompson will be down there on Sunday, and I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. I can't remember the numbers. I think it was 140,000. Kathleen's gone now, but it was 140,000 unique cell phone pings on our waterfront last year. So that would be the largest event on file for us to date. The new waste carts are being delivered to Barrie households between June 16th and the end of August. Collection using the new waste carts won't begin until September 8th, 2025. So although you'll be able to get them this summer, we won't start using them until September 8th. For further information, you can visit barrie.ca/curbside collection changes. And Grow More with Less, an easy crop workshop being hosted by the city's Development Services Department, is being held this Saturday from 2 p.m. until 3:30 at Lampman Lane Community Garden. So for further information, please visit barrie.ca/grow more with less, fitting into the theme. And with that, we are going to go into bylaws.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Hamilton. Leave be granted to introduce the following bills, and these bills be read a first, second, and third time on this day and finally passed. Bill 43 to 57.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Hamilton. Leave be granted to introduce the following bills, and these bills be read a first, second, and third time this day and finally passed. Bills 043 to 057. Any questions or concerns or comments from members of council? Seeing none, all those in favor? It carries. Deputy Mayor.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Hamilton. Leave be granted to introduce this following bill, and this bill be read a first, second, and third time on this day and finally passed. Bill 58.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Hamilton. This is the confirmation bylaw that leave be granted to introduce the following bill, and this bill be ready first, second, third time this day and finally passed. Bill 58. Any questions or comments from members of council? I'm seeing none. All those in favor? It carries. Could I get a motion to adjourn? I've got Councillor Harris and Councillor Harvey. All those in favor? It carries. We're adjourned at 8:25 p.m. on June the 4th. Thanks, everyone.